Well, welcome back. Thank you so much again for being here and listening to my story. And I really appreciate you guys. So, when I had left off, I was just starting this temporary job at this like document, say processing. It was like they made documents um, for like companies to use and like did the printing for it. So, I'm trying to figure out again, I'm not going to get paid. This was a Thursday morning at 11 o'clock. So my hours were going to be from 11 to 7. And I had a half an hour for lunch. So now at this point, my money has again kind of dried up. Well, not yet. Not yet. I shouldn't say yet, but it's getting there from what I had left from the landlord in Casco, in cash. Because I had gone down to New York, spent money on gas and everything like that. Um, I ended up calling like around Portland to say, is there a place I can go to just wash, take a shower? And when I called this, I actually ended up being a shelter when I called because I just wanted to be able to take a shower and I can still sleep in my car. And when I called, the woman said, well, we don't have anything like that, but if you wanted a bed, to sign up for a bed, you can have a bed and then you can take a shower. And I was trying very hard not to go back into the shelter system and never thought I was going to have to deal with that again. Also, I was not familiar with this area, so I didn't know what I was going to come up against in a shelter here. And I kind of had no choice at that point because I was going to work every day and I needed to kind of, oh, I know what I forgot to tell you. I kind of needed to take a shower every day, in order to go into work and change and everything. So crazy thing is, I tell you, I have the thing with my dreams, right? Um, Probably, I'm going to say a day or two before I had called, I had a dream that I was in a shelter, but it was totally different than the one I had been in New Jersey. And there was an upstairs, and there was all these beds laid side by side, I should say. And then there was a downstairs. And I remember someone said, oh, they're serving, lunch now. You can get lunch. And I'm like, really? They have food? They provide food? And she's like, yeah, they provide food. And when I was in the New Jersey shelter, there was you had to get your own food. So you had to get an EBT card and go to the store and buy your own food. And then the shelter had a kitchen where you can cook your own food. Here, luckily, see how blessings come. Because I really didn't have the money at this point to purchase food. So they served 3 meals a day. And so when I called probably that Thursday, I can't remember exactly, that Thursday after my first day on the job, they said if you know, we do have a bed and you can come tonight and stay and there's breakfast, in the morning. But since you're not I think so. Anyway, let me describe how this is because I think this is important I feel like this was my purpose in um, my ascension journey was to understand more about homelessness and shelters. So for this shelter, okay, so in New Jersey, let me go back. In New Jersey, once social services sends you there to the shelter, you're accepted. Like you have a bed to stay until like you mess up or whatever. Um, Here, it was kind of more so that you have to call, I think it's 1 o'clock. You have to call every day at 1 o'clock. So if you've never stayed there, you call at 1 o'clock and you say, is there a bed available? And if they say yes, then they will hold it for you for that night. I think you have to be in by, I don't know, 8 o'clock or something like that. Um, but then you have to leave by like, I think 10 o'clock after breakfast, you have to leave. I think if you go there, if you get there by 5 o'clock, you can have dinner. So since my hours were until 7, I was going to miss dinner that day. When I went there to, sign up and put my paperwork in, and of course, someone sits down with you and says like, well, "Why are you here?" Of course, and that's the hardest thing is because like, well, I was traveling and I thought I had a place and it didn't work out and ended up been sleeping in my car. So, they fill out all the paperwork and stuff. So they ended up putting me, so there was a lot of upstairs where the main desk was and things. There was, I'm going to say 20, 25, 30 beds upstairs. And I didn't realize there was a downstairs. And a great thing about this too was now it's getting towards the end of June and it was getting like hot outside. So they had a central air conditioning in theirs, which I was so thankful for. And because sleeping out in my car, it was so humid and hot at night and just couldn't get comfortable. And that was another thing why I needed a shower because I needed just to like, just didn't feel right going to work the next day. So I had missed dinner. I took my shower and they showed me downstairs to my bed, which was nice because there was only maybe like 10 beds in this room. And I felt like in this room, the people were a little more, how to say this? Um, I don't know how to properly say that. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. Whereas upstairs, there seemed to be more women that may have been on drugs or may have had mental um, issues. I was still taking the drops for my ears, for, well, my one ear. I had got swimmer's ear somehow, some way. I have no idea. And so I was taking the drops at night, and next morning I would get up early. They would have coffee ready for you, and I would go back downstairs and drink my coffee and, do my regular journaling. And I think everybody had to be up by like 8 o'clock or something like that. And then they served breakfast at like 8:30. So most people sat or they had tables, like a little dining space. So some people sat around the table, some people took their food outside, but a line would form and it would kind of open, kind of was like a school cafeteria type of thing. And but they would have fruit, they would have like donuts and bagels, um, eggs, bake like really good stuff, like orange juice, um, different things every day. And I was like, oh, wow, this is great. And so I think the first couple of days, I kind of sat there because I didn't want to just, like, I wanted to get to know my surroundings, people who were there, and not too, friendly because I was hoping not to be there for too long. But the thing was, now I had to give up my bed for that night that I was in. And I had to again call at 1 o'clock to see if there was another bed available for that night. So it was kind of hard because I went into my job now and I was just learning. So I was sitting with the manager and, he's kind of going through everything. And like I'm looking at my watch because it's like 1 o'clock, you got a call. And like if you miss that time, other people are calling in too, and they only have so many beds available. So luckily I got a bed again for that next night. And um, you know, you were able to take as much like breakfast as you wanted to. So I was kind of, since I didn't have, I was missing lunch and dinner there. Whatever I kind of, because they would even have breakfast sandwiches, like with like bacon, egg, and cheese type of things on a roll. So I would kind of take that and have that for like my lunch at work. Because I wouldn't take my lunch till, since I started at 11, I wouldn't really take my lunch till like 4 o'clock. So like I was getting hungry at that point and I had that like sandwich. Anyway, I was able to consistently get a bed for that next week. And as I think I told you guys that I got the job at um, a permanent job. Maybe I didn't tell you. I'm not sure if I have to go back to the other video. When I was coming back from New York, I stopped in Portsmouth again. And the HR person for the job I really wanted in finance called me and said, we want to hire you. And it's for a very big company. And I was like really, really excited because I'm like, oh my goodness. Like the thing is, too, working in New York, the pay compared to what it is here in Maine was a big, like I was making like going to be making like half of what I made in New York. So that was a hard pill to swallow, but I didn't care at this point. Like I just was happy to be getting a permanent job where I would have benefits and everything. And this document product not processing, but making company, I didn't, even though it was like temp to hire, I didn't feel like I was going to enjoy it at all. So she had said you can start June 30th, which would have been on a Friday. So I only ended up staying at this document place for 1 week exactly. And then that next Thursday was my last day. And I think by that time I had been consistently been able to get a bed in the shelter. And I think after a week, if you consistently call in, they'll give you a permanent bed if they have one available. So I was able to get a permanent bed. And I was so, so, so very happy because I'm saying, how am I going to go to this new job, that I'm really excited about? And we working in finance, so after it was like business casual kind of dressing. And, how am I going to dress up every day if I like sleeping in my car and stuff? So that everything kind of worked out that I was in the shelter. It was calm and peaceful. Um, there wasn't really any craziness going on. I was able to go in, get a shower, uh, you know, do what I needed to do. I just try to keep it simple and then go to work. I think I started like 8:30 to 5. And I think I was missing like breakfast and lunch. Did I get paid? But I think I got paid for those 2 days that I worked the week before, that Friday. So I had a little bit of money that came in. I don't know, it was probably less than $200, like $150 or something. So I had a little bit of money now to kind of, I went to Walmart and I think I got a few things like for my breakfast and lunch. And I usually don't eat in the evening anyway. So that kind of all worked out in that way. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one here and I'll see you in the next one.